Well, good morning, Phoebe in Dubai. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody else, wherever you are in the world. It's good to be with you. Phoebe, how are you on this sunny day where I am? And I hope it's sunny where you are.
Yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Greetings to all of you and greetings to you, Graham. So it is, as you can see, the weather is a bit sunny here. I'm just put my curtain, so it is a pleasant day and an
Sunny.
interesting day here and in this part of Dubai.
Yeah. And our dear colleague, our dear and highly esteemed colleague, Mohammed Shukri, is still doing a book tour in the Middle East. I think he's been in India. He then was in Sri Lanka, and I think he's now in Egypt, I think. But we wish him great success. He promotes his new book, and we're going to talk to him about it more specifically when he joins us, hopefully, inshallah, next week. So,
Yeah. Yeah, wishing Mohammed a wonderful time at this point of time with his book tour.
absolutely, absolutely. So, Phoebe, I'm going to suggest that today we talk about something which you and I have talked about often. I've written articles on it. We mentioned this in a previous video, and that is the cost of poor leadership. It is to not to undercut anything, not to exaggerate. It is significant. And the latest figures, which may have been updated, that I had from the United States alone, the cost of poor leadership, usually through managers, is around $1 billion. Actually, it's more than that, but anyway, it's a lot. It's when I say it's a billion, it's actually $950 billion. Put a few more decimal places in that brain. This is significant, isn't it?
It is significant. Imagine that if we have um, a group of leaders who are uh, understanding the what we call the good practices of leadership, exemplary leadership practices, you are actually saving on that pile of money
Yeah.
every year.
Let's look at some specific examples of how that can impact the organization. When we know that when we have exemplary leadership, and that exemplary leadership then leads to uh, team members and staff members loving what they're doing. They want to be there. In other words, they are engaged. And when
Mhm.
people, they are highly productive. Well, let's not over exaggerate. Let's say they are more productive when they're engaged, when they're not engaged. They are more productive because they're looking for new ways to do things better. They're putting in the extra effort. They're inquiring about how things can be improved. They are committed to getting a really good result. When the leader is doing what leaders really should be doing, rather than being the person who's yelling and screaming and not creating an engaged environment where people want to leave. The old cliche, well, it's not a cliche, it's a truism that people do not leave organizations, they leave managers. And when they leave managers, there's a cost. There's a cost while
Yeah.
they're leaving is a cost. We'll come back to that in a moment. Phoebe.
It is what you mentioned. It is like people are experiencing a culture of poor leadership in their workplace, and I want to try it and connect it with culture, company culture. And one important aspect is having leaders, because leaders create the culture. People observe what are the action the leader is taking at various stages, because when you are in leadership, you are in the spotlight within the organization, especially in a hierarchical organization. You are being watched. And and again, as Jim Cazuz and Barry Posner from their book The Leadership Challenge over the 40 years of research is highlighting that model the way, because that is where culture can get formed. How, as leaders, are we modeling the way? What are our actions showing others in the workplace? Is that appreciable, or is it something which we should be taking not seriously? So this sets the tone. So again, one study which was I was just going through, which was from CMI, and one of their research suggests that almost 1/3 of UK workers, that is 28%, left job due to poor workplace culture, and who, as we have seen, holds the workplace culture and highly influenced is the people in hierarchy who are leading the organization.
And look, an example that springs to my mind is one that I heard only 2 days ago. And this was told me by a woman who said that she does some work for a hotel chain here in Australia, where I am at the moment. And she said this, and it's a well-known hotel chain. And she said that the management of the hotel there that she's working for are not engaged, they're not encouraging, they're not looking after the staff. Now, what that translates to is the staff are not engaged, the staff are not productive, the staff are not doing a really good job. But also their attitude when they are walking around the corridors, the hallways of the hotel, and seeing or being seen by the guests. What's the impact on the guest when they're seeing staff that are not happy? Right, I don't want to stay in that hotel because the staff are not happy. Why are they not happy? Because of the culture that's not been created effectively by the leaders in that hotel. I have been in a hotel, I've stayed in many hotels in the last 15 years, and some of them I know you want to stay there because of the environment that's created by the staff, because of the great job that they are doing, because of the management of the hotel. It's like also in a shop. It's like in every operational business where there are people interacting with customers. If you've got happy people delivering the service, you're going to have happy customers. If you've got happy managers leading the people, you're going to have happy team members, happy with it. All of this goes together. It's not hard. Oh my God. There are significant costs. There's a story that I'll tell two quick stories. One, which was a negative outcome because someone who was highly productive, this person was leading two sales teams. Each sales team had 8 participants in the team. And this person who was leading these 2 teams as a manager was getting great results. They were selling professional services. And she was an international company, and this woman was getting fantastic sales results. And she then resigned because she could no longer work with her manager. After 9 years, she resigned. When she leaves, she is taking so much, not only knowledge about the way the company operates, but the way the company interacts with their customers. She leaves. This is a huge gap that suddenly is left. They've got to find someone who's going to be able to take that role. Then they've got to train them and get them used to the whole process. It takes time. We calculated at the time, because of the industry that she was in, because of the sales that she was making, that the cost to the company because of poor leadership was close to $1 million. Now, that might sound exaggerated. No, we did this separately. She did it and I did it. We got similar results. Now, flip that around for a moment. I've got another example. This is a company in Oman. I won't be any more specific than that because that would be not ethical. The senior people went on a leadership challenge program with me. And I then revisited them just over 12 months later. And one of the managers he was a general manager of one of the companies in the group. And he said, as a result of what we did, Graham, I have increased revenue by $2 million in a year. Now, immediately he said that, I said, prove it. I wasn't going to say, whoa, that's fantastic. No, you prove this, it's a huge figure. So he went through quickly and showed me the figures. And there was a financial controller from another part of the group who was in the room at the time. And I looked at him when these figures are being put on the flip chart. And I said, does this sound right? And he said, yep. $2 million in increased sales because of the way he was now leading his team and because of what they were doing. A lot of it was challenging the process and finding better ways to do things. But he was enabling them. He was empowering them, the team members. And I said to him, I want to come and come in the organization and see what is happening as a result of what you've done. And his immediate response was, the thing that you will see when you come in are smiling faces. Wow. Smiling faces mean dollars, right? If your company, team members and staff members are smiling, that is going to impact the bottom line, right? Simple.
Very true. Very true. And I just want to bring in this at this time. Some international studies, like many organizations engage Gallup for their employee engagement data. And I'm just going through one of the Gallup report, and it states that in the Global Workplace Report, only 21% of employees are currently engaged at work. See where our 79% of population lies in that. So imagine that 79% who are not engaged is being brought in. And what can engage them? And that is where, again, we try it with the leadership challenge where if I am a leader, if I am modeling the way, will that inspire them? And that lead to the second practice of the leadership challenge, inspire a shared vision. What is preventing me from having a shared vision? So that the team can be involved in the process. Now, because of that, and another study says that, which low engagement costs the global economy $7.8 trillion. That is almost 11% of GDP globally. So see because people are not provided an opportunity to be better leaders, exemplary leaders. And lack of that awareness is creating this huge hole in organization.
How many trillion did you say?
7.8 trillion.
7.8 trillion. Well, we will ask for just 1% of that and we will change the world, okay? They can give us 1% of that 7.8 trillion and we will, okay, obviously ridiculous. But I'm getting tired of saying, oh, I will never get tired of saying leadership is not hard. It's not. The things that we talk about, particularly in the leadership challenge, where we talk about enabling others to act, where we give our power away, where we enable them to achieve things that they didn't think that they were capable of doing. And yes, people are surprised when they achieve these things that they didn't think they could do, and they become more empowered to move on and do even bigger and better things for the organization. They then love what they're doing because they're being empowered and enabled to do these things. And when they achieve these things, the leader, you've practiced a leadership challenge, the leader encourages the heart and says, wow, thank you so much. You've done a great job. And the person then wants to do more. They want more of this encouragement because the leader is giving them a genuine appreciation for what they have done. You know, we could easily get I think 0.1% is trillion of the 7 points. It's too little. We should be taking 2% of that 7.5 trillion and giving leaders the secrets of this. So we should be saying, look, the leadership challenge has got it. The leadership challenge with all these years of research. And we know that when leaders follow those 5 practices and when they engage their staff, they get great result. It impacts the bottom line, seriously impacts the bottom line.
And other aspect also, Graham, like when we don't have exemplary leadership, the challenge is how internally challenging the process become a challenge for the team, and that leads to lack of innovation,
But-
new practices in a workplace. And I just want to bring in, in the third practice of leadership challenge is challenging the process. And one aspect which, again, if we have motivated employees going above and beyond to challenge the process, and that leads to better innovation in the workplace, and see the potential revenue generation that can lead to for an organization, and how it encourages the whole team to be engaged in the workplace and the work.
The example I gave you in doing just what you said was $2 million added revenue for the 12-month period, added revenue. And they were producing a product in simple terms. And I said, so you've produced all of these products, are they sitting in a warehouse? No, he said, they were sold. We have received the money, $2 million, because he was asking his people to challenge the process, find better ways. He was empowering them. He was encouraging the heart. And when I just want to come back to something you said about enabling people to challenge the process. So many team members are in fear if they try to do something a little bit different. No, I'll be cut off. I won't be allowed to do it. I've got to do what I'm told to do. They live in fear of even suggesting a change. This is just not only, it's headed in absolutely the wrong direction. We are not going to survive if this is the way we're going to treat stuff, by holding them back. We've got to encourage them. Debbie, what do you suggest to this?
No, I think when you mentioned the word fear in the workplace, again, I want to link it. Imagine if there is a workplace where people are not having the fear, how much better the staff well-being will be, and what can be the potential benefit of staff well-being.
Oh.
And I want to tie it with, the fourth practice. How can we enable others to act? In a fearful environment, we are disabling others to act.
Absolutely.
And in case we have a workplace and a work situation in which a leader is recognizing, a leader is praising the employees, a leader is encouraging achievements in the workplace, how much it affects the morale in a positive fashion.
So let me just say this, picking up and extrapolating a little bit of what you said. Let's just say that we have the team members, for whatever reason, living in fear, for whatever reason, and they can't speak up. They just got to do their job. Fear leads to stress. Stress leads to mental health issues. Mental health issues leads to time off work, which costs the company money, right? This escalates. There's a clear pathway. There's fear. It's a toxic environment if people don't want to be there. Mental health issues. And then they've got to take time off and try and recover. Years ago, in an organization which I was in, and at a senior level, and I have told this story before, a doctor that I used to regularly have to visit said to me, what is it? He also was the GP for many of the staff. And he said, what is it about the people in your company? What do you mean? What is it about them? He said, well, they come in to see me. He's a doctor. They go to see the doctor when they're sick. And I say, oh, well, here's a certificate. Take 3 days off work. No, they will say, make me well. I don't want to take time off work. And he said, what is it about the people with you that they want to get well and not just want to take time off work? And I said, because they are committed and they love what they're doing. When we create an environment like that, people want to be there. They will not be taking time off. In fact, sometimes we've got to say, take time off work, go and recover this illness that you've got. But I've got a job to do and I love it. We'll sort that out. You go and look after you. So Whereas the other manager will be saying, yes, get back in here and do the work. Oh my gosh. When we have an environment where people love to be, when they are passionate about the work that they are doing, we get great results. And those results translate to the bottom line.
Yeah. And you know, if your organization does not have the right leadership in place, the risk of losing top talent that could otherwise thrive and progress, we can imagine how that situation can turn out. And I just want to highlight another important aspect, which report which Gallup has shared. You know, in one of their study, they found that 32% of an organization's voluntary staff turnover can be avoided through better leadership skills. That is one. The second is 52% of employees leaving their jobs could have been persuaded to stay had they not had poor management. All from Gallup.
Yes. And, they're quantifying this. We kind of anecdotally know this, but they're quantifying this. There are numbers that back this up. Some years ago, I was at a Middle East HR conference in Oman, Muscat. And the HR director for a very large company in Muscat said, we know that there are people leaving our organization who have not been performing well. And they go to another organization, and we then hear that they have become staff. We need to do something about this, said this gentleman. What do they need to do about it? They need to recognize the real value of the people that they have and help those people blossom, emerge from the darkness, if you like, to be able to live and work at their full potential rather than being in a workplace environment where they are held back and they then leave because they're not happy with the manager, call him leader, no, don't call him leader, manager that they have, and they leave. This is the cost of poor managing.
And Graham, I always remember when you highlight, leaders develop more leaders. And the fourth practice, again, I just want to bring into the leadership challenge, fourth practice of exemplary leadership is enabling others to act. How am I enabling others to act? Are they encouraged? Are they appreciated? And these are simple acts. But what is preventing? And sometimes it is lack of awareness of how can I be a better leader? And that is where learning and development plays a role. How can we help our team members to be better leaders by bringing in that awareness? Because awareness breeds the potential in organization, in people. Organization is group of people. How can I enable my people to be more aware of the good practices?
I hope those who are listening to us and watching us have noticed a little difference, maybe, I think anyway, in today's presentation. And that is the way you and I are talking about this. The underlying feeling is that we are both passionate about creating a workplace that people want to be in and want to perform at their best. That's what leadership does. That's what exemplary leadership achieves. And it can be done. It ain't hard. Let's talk to people really about this. And let's have people come on a mastermind that we're putting together really soon. 26th of February, it's coming up. But I'm now going to say, Phoebe, thank you very much for your contribution and your wisdom, as always. And I wish you a wonderful week ahead. And congratulations always in all the good things that you are doing. Thank you, Phoebe.
Thank you, Graham. And I just want to inform our audience. Again, Graham just gave an insight. So we have the Leadership Mastermind happening starting from 26th of February. And this is exclusively reserved for 10 people. And we will be having 10 sessions of 1 hour each every 2 weeks. So feel free to join the Leadership Mastermind.
them the cost of this. People will be, you've got to tell them how much this is going to cost them. Let's not have them in coming on being surprised when they see how much it all is. Tell them, Phoebe, up front, be honest. What's the cost of this?
And there is no cost. This is a voluntary initiative which Graham is leading.
It's free. What? Oh, yes, it is. No cost. Please sign up. Join us for this mastermind on leadership. Phoebe, thank you once again. Have a great
And
weekend.
thank you. And remember, this is the last practice which Graham always do, encouraging the heart. And that is the 5th practice of Leadership Challenge. And this Leadership Mastermind is to encourage your heart to be better leaders. Join us. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Phoebe.